Well, I was engaged to Ben and living in LA. And it felt like I wanted to make movies and marry Ben. And I was only 19 or 20 at the time and never felt old in my whole life. But if I was honest with myself, there was a small part of me that felt dead. Or deadish. But you keep telling yourself, no one is perfect. No relationship is perfect. This tea is delicious. Anyway, you were asking about the Charlie. So yeah, I was happy with Ben, but aware of that deadness. And then I went to New York to meet a director about the space movie. The one where they take the space seriously. It was about sex trafficking in space. It was supposed to be political, or at least they wanted us to think it was, but it was just fulfilling the same needs from certain fucked up porn does. But while I was there, a producer invited me to see a play, and it was in someone's living room with all the lights on. Nothing like I've ever seen before. Such a strange, surreal, dystopian story. So well acted. And one of the actors was this big shaggy bear, and he kept playing all of his lines looking directly at me, which I knew couldn't really be the case, but it felt that way, and later it turned out that it was. Afterwards I got introduced to the cast, and the bear turned out to also be a director. He didn't really know who I was. Maybe he did. Or he figured out later, but that was it. He started talking to me and I talked back. And the dead part wasn't really dead, it was just in a coma. It was better than sex. The talking. Although the sex was also like the talking. Everything is like everything in a relationship. Do you find that? We spent the whole night and the next day together, and I just never left. And to be honest, all the problems were there in the beginning too. I just went along with it, in his life, because it felt so damn good to feel myself alive. In the beginning, I was the actress, the star. So that felt like something. People came to see me. But then, the further I got away from that, and the more the theater company got acclaimed, I had less and less weight. I kind of became like, who? Oh, that actress from that thing that time. And he was a draw, which would have been fine. But I got smaller. I realized that I didn't really ever come alive for myself. I was just kind of feeding his aliveness. And he was so smart and creative, it just didn't really matter. We would talk about things at home, and they would work up their way into the public conversation, into his work, and for a while that felt like enough. I was just so flattered that someone like him would find an idea of mine worth using, or like a comment of mine worth repeating. And then I got pregnant. And having a baby, would be ours, like really ours, but also really mine. And he was so excited. And for a while it was so nice. With kids, they belong to themselves, Like the instant they leave your body is just the process of them going away. And I didn't really belong to myself. It was stupid stuff. And big stuff. Like, for example, all the furniture in the house was to his taste. I didn't even know what my taste was anymore because I've never been asked to use it. I didn't really even pick our apartment, I just moved into it. And I made noises about moving back to LA, but it came to nothing. We would come here on holidays because he liked my family. But if I would suggest to do, for example, a year or two, it would be just come to nothing. He would just put me off. It would be like so weird if he asked me, and what do you want to do today? You know, I saw this documentary about George Harrison. I kept telling myself, just own it. Own it like George Harrison's wife did. Being a wife and a mother is enough. But then, couldn't remember her name. Yeah. So, this pilot, you know, came along and they shot in LA, and he paid so much. And it felt like, you know, this little lifeline thrown to me. Here's a piece of earth that's yours. And I felt so embarrassed in front of him about it. But I also was like, this is who I am. And this is what I'm worth. And it's stupid that it's mine. And you know, if at that time if he took me to a big hug and he said, you know, like, baby, I'm so excited for your adventure, for your new journey, and I want you to have a piece of earth that's yours, you know. Well, then we might not be even getting a divorce. You know? He made fun of it. He was jealous as he is. Oh, and then he realized about the money. And he said I could funnel it back to the theater company. And I was like, that's when I realized he truly didn't see me. He didn't see me as a separate from him. And I asked him for my phone number. And he didn't know it. And so I left. And I also think he slept with the stage manager, Maria.